Alrighty, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be comparing all the villains that are all the playable Doom Raiders in Trap Team to their villain counterparts in Imaginators. Obviously, it's kind of different because some of the Doom Raiders didn't get returning villains and other random villains did get returning senseis in Imaginators. So I'm going to be comparing the 10 that are in Imaginators to their original in Trap Team. This video has been requested a few times. I've had a few friends tell me that it would make a pretty entertaining video, so I'm going to be doing that today. I'm going to be talking about each individual one and saying which one I prefer, and at the end we'll see which game had more that I prefer. So without further ado, let's get right into it with the first element. So starting off, we are going to be using the elements in Imaginators just because that makes more sense. We got fire. This is going to be Taekwon Crow. Personally, I think this might be the closest one. He's really good in Trap Team and Imaginators. Trap Team, he has a nice moveset that has a really nice mix of close range and long range with his katana and his shurikens. But I think Imaginators just takes the cake with the different sort of combos with his shurikens and his fire, where you can light the shurikens on fire, or you can summon his buzzer beaks and light them on fire. There's just a lot of stuff you can do, not to mention the fire kick combo is absolutely awesome. It's super fun to use. Just spin around in a full circle and kick fire all around you. That move is super fun to use, and I honestly, everyone loves that move. Taekwon Crow is really close for him. He's super powerful in Trap Team, but I think his moveset is just a little bit more diverse, and there's more going for it with the Imaginators counterpart. So I'm going to have to give that to Taekwon Crow in Imaginators. Now, next up is going to be water, and we have Clobber. Now, Clobber in Trap Team is really good. I really like his moveset. I think having the bones come out the ground and then being able to smash them, his two moves that he has work absolutely perfectly together to pretty much cover all sides of him, and it works really well for a slow, beefy Skylander like him. In Imaginators, he's also really good, though. He can summon these pillars and break them. It feels like a classic Earth Skylander, which is still kind of weird because he's water, but this guy still feels pretty much, for the most part, he feels very similar, just with a few new moves. I do love his move where he shoots out, tides of water when he belly flops. That move is really fun. He's got some really nice stuff going for him in Imaginators, but personally, I'm gonna have to go to Trap Team for this one. I think his moves in Trap Team just work together nicer than they do in Imaginators. In Imaginators, they're not bad at all, but in Trap Team, they're just that little bit better for me. Like, these moves work almost perfectly together, so I'm gonna have to give it to Trap Team for Clobber. Now, next up is Bad Juju. This one, in Trap Team, she has a moveset that is pretty basic, honestly. I really like it, but it is basic. She got basically like a funneling tornado attack that brings all the enemies together, and then she can strike with lightning, and that's pretty much it. That's all she got going for her, but it is a pretty decent moveset. In Imaginators, her moveset gets a lot more complicated. She got her blades, which are really cool to use, and she can use Juju Jr. and strike it with lightning, use it as a turret. It is really cool. She's got some really cool, her moves work well together pretty nicely in Imaginators, just a little bit better than Trap Team, so I'm going to have to give it to Imaginators for this one. I think Imaginators just did slightly better with Bad Juju. I think her moves just work together nicer in this game, and I think she has a cooler design in this game too. Not that I'm really counting that much though. Okay, next up is Earth Element, which is going to be Golden Queen. Now, for me in Trap Team, her moveset was really nothing special. I never really fell in love with it, and while it's not bad, I just feel like it isn't that great for what should be a super powerful villain. I mean, look at someone like Chaos. He has a great moveset in Trap Team, but in Imaginators, it's just he has these fantastic movesets in both games. Now, Golden Queen, her moveset in Trap Team is just not as good. It's not bad, but I feel like it's more for collecting gold and stuff like that. It's more of a utility moveset rather than something that's super amazing, super powerful. It's not bad, but it's not personally a huge favorite of mine. Now, her Imaginators moveset is really good, though. Her Soul Gem alone, I think, is enough to push it over the top. That move is super cool. She gets these laser eyes, and she turns massive, and she can smash enemies. Super cool. And her moveset is just good overall. If you like ranged Skylanders, if you like sort of sorcerers, she is going to be really fun. And honestly, I think it's just that little bit better than Trap Team, honestly, even without the Soul Gem, and the Soul Gem just pushes it over the top for me. So Imaginators is going to win for Golden Queen. And next up is Chompy Mage. Chompy Mage in Trap Team is really good. This guy's a classic Chompy Mage moveset where he swings his staff around, he summons Chompies, and he turns into a giant Chompy and shoots out shockwaves. This guy's moveset is pretty much perfect for Chompy Mage, which makes it really impossible for Imaginators to beat. Now, talking about Imaginators Chompy Mage, it's kind of weird because he is a bazooker, so his moveset's kind of wonky for what you'd expect. He shoots out Chompies, and he sort of turns into a ball of Chompies, and he's got like a move where he sort of like screams with his Chompy puppet. It's kind of a weird moveset. Honestly, just does not work nearly as well as Trap Team's. It's not a bad moveset overall for a Skylander, but I think for Chompy Mage, we got exactly what we wanted out of the Trap Team moveset, so I don't think the Imaginators one is really as good as that one in any sense, especially since he was the incorrect battle class, which really hurts him. So Trap Team is going to win for Chompy Mage. Now next up is going to be Wolfgang for the Undead element. Now in Trap Team, this guy had such a great moveset. It was just, he was a smasher. He would smash the ground and swing his guitar around. It was awesome. He would play these music notes that had different sounds and different like songs that went with each of them. It was really cool. I absolutely loved all of his attacks, and his slide worked really well. It was really fun to use, and that kind of got replicated pretty well in Imaginators. But his other Imaginators moves, I just feel I don't know, man. Like shooting arrows isn't bad, but it just doesn't feel like Wolfgang. He doesn't feel like a bow slinger. I feel like he 100% should have been a smasher. Making this guy a bow slinger, I think, was a really weird decision, and I don't think it works that well with him. He seems like a smasher, and honestly, I'm gonna have to do this as a Trap Team. His moveset in Imaginators was all based around speakers and like technology and shooting arrows, where his Trap Team moveset was actually based around, you know, playing music notes and sliding in enemies, playing his guitar and smashing enemies with his guitar, exactly how it should be. I'm gonna have to give this one to Trap Team for sure. I think Trap Team did a lot better with Wolfgang's moveset. Now next up is going to be Pinata from the Magic element. Now, Trap Team, this guy's moveset was really nice. I actually really liked his moveset in Trap Team. I think having the candy barf worked really well, and then it shot out Pinatas. You could smack them and make them explode, or you can just smack enemies. Overall, he worked pretty well in Trap Team. But Imaginators, I feel like, just took everything one step above. It gave him a move where he can summon Pinatas. If you defeat enemies, more Pinatas summon. Pinatas will automatically target enemies, makes him really OP against bosses, and he works as a smasher. He can smack enemies a few times with this basic attack, and then he whips out 2 lollipops, smashes them into each other, and it makes a massive explosion. Very fun to use, and his candy barf is still there. All the stuff that you love about Pinata that makes him a classic villain is still there, and he's got this massive candy laser that you can shoot out, which is just awesome to use. I think everyone likes that move, so it's hard for me to say Trap Team beats Imaginators. I think Imaginators does really well with what you want from Pinata. Now last up for the main base 8 elements is going to be Tech with Dr. Crankcase. Trap Team's moveset I think was really nice. The lightning was a bit uncalled for, but honestly I did really like it. I thought the lightning worked really well with Dr. Crankcase. It was a really cool move that kind of shook things up, and obviously you got his classic shooting goo and spinning. I think both those moves worked really well, and honestly I think Trap Team had a better moveset than Imaginators. Sure, in Imaginators his moves work better together. I think between the Hatbots and the shooting goo and the spinning, all his moves work very nicely together to create for some really nice damage, but I just think he isn't as fun. I think shooting the lightning was such a creative idea for him that worked really well with his character. I just didn't think the Hatbots were as cool. When Imaginators first came out and I first played them, I was like, where's his lightning? I don't like these Hatbots. I wanted the lightning. The lightning looks cooler, and honestly, while Imaginators might be more effective and more useful, I think Trap Team is more fun because of the lightning attack. It's really the lightning versus the Hatbots, which you prefer, and for me personally, it is going to be the lightning, so Trap Team is going to win for Dr. Crankcase. Now next up we got Blastertron for the light element, and in Trap Team I really wasn't a big fan of his moveset. He seemed kind of clunky, kind of slow. His attacks really weren't doing it for me, but Imaginators, he is just amazing. I mean, he's got his sword, which is really good. I mean, he's got a laser sword. He can shoot beams of light and like this purple energy in all different directions. Super cool. I mean, he can shoot his jetpack off, and he can make these big sort of force fields around him that make all these rockets shoot everywhere. All his moves work really well together. That's exactly what you want to see out of this guy. He plays very well, especially since he became a knight. Like, he still fits the knight class pretty well, and after doing my lock, this guy is absolutely one of my favorite senseis. He did really good in that lock, and it really showed me the potential in his moveset. So Imaginators is 100% going to win for Blastertron. Now last up, we got Hoodsicle. Now Hoodsicle in Trap Team was honestly really cool. He had 2 moves, but they worked really well for what you wanted to get out of him. He has a speedy dash attack that will power up his primary attack, so once you use it, it will dish out a ton of damage. I really like this. I think this is a great way of doing it, and it makes him just pretty fun to use overall. You can do some massive damage with this guy. And then Imaginators came around, and I don't think his moveset was as good. I think it was just a little clunky for my liking. His third attack, you didn't really use it that often. I wasn't really a huge fan of it. I feel like his whole moveset was just kind of thrown together without much thought, and personally, I don't like it. I feel like he's too slow for a Sentinel. Like someone like Ember or Barbella feels much faster and does much more damage than this guy. This guy just isn't it for me. So honestly, I think his Trap Team one is better because it has nice utility and fun damage, and it's just fun to use overall. Imaginators doesn't really compare to it that well for me. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are curious, 5 from Trap Team 1 and 5 from Imaginators 1. So it's pretty split down the middle, which kind of surprised me. I feel like Imaginators should be winning more than that, but Trap Team honestly did really good with a lot of these villains, and a lot of them I think were changed too much for Imaginators. So I think it's pretty crazy that it's even split, but it is pretty cool. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and comment any video ideas you have below because I will probably read them, and honestly, I might do them. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.